あれスタンリーどこ？あれあ、いた。大丈夫？これ画面出てます？大丈夫？出るよね？平気？よし。おはようございます。どうもどうも。ということで、はい。バーチャル小学校教員の三下カバネです。今日は、スタンリーなんとかなんとかなんとかをやっていきます。英語難しい。あれコメント欄、死んでない？ちょっとお待ちを。ちょっとお待ちを。ちょっと待ってくださいね。ちょっとだいたい1分くらい待ってくださいね。なんかね、あれ俺2日やんなかったら配信の仕方忘れちゃうんかな。よいしょ。よいしょ。よいしょ。はい。よし、コメント出ましたね。ということでやっていきましょう。なんか、スタンリー君 BGM ないんかな？まあ、いっか。コメントテスト苦手に。ということで、ちょっと待ってね。待って。配信の開始ツイートしてないよね、俺もしかして。してないよね。するわ。それしたらじゃあ始めていきましょうか。ちょっと待ってくださいね。始まりました。始まりました。始まりました。ツイートしました。よし、ってことで、はい、今日は、スタンリーパラブルっていうゲームをやっていきたいと思います。アヒルちゃんは勝ってない。ってことで、はい、今ちょっとBGM 関連を設定してたんで、とりあえずなんだろう、このゲーム始めること自体初めてなんで、どうなるかわかんないです。ポチ、始めていきましょうか。アヒルちゃん買って。アヒル買わないのタイラになるの？マジ？許して。アヒルさ、時間持つあれ。ローディングが終わんないんだけど。何これ？なんだこれ。どのゲームも初回ロードは難しいよね。1時間は遊べる。マジで。やるかじゃあ。
This is the story of a man named Stim.
耳壊れたんだけど。今音量大丈夫だった？はあ、ちょっと待って。音でっかかった。これ音大丈夫なぐらいまで教えてください。ちょっと待ってね。
Stanley worked for a company in a big building
今ど
where
う？
he was
今どう？ちょっとでかい？
employee
小さい？
number 427. Employee
大丈夫？
427's job
バイ
was
クすげえ来てんだ
simple.
けど。いけてる？
Sit
大丈
at
夫？
his desk in
了解
room
です。じ
427
ゃあこのまま行きましょうか。
and push buttons on a
じゃあ、
keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every
なんか、
month of every
文字おかしくない？フルナレーションになってないな。
might have considered it so really.
だってフルナレーションになってないんで一回。あれなんで？オーディオ。フルだよね。You can change the これ変えたんだよ。これで変えて、フルになってるはずだから。よし。字幕出てないよね。なんだろう。はい。待ってね、字幕出てないかな。
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
字幕死んでる。ちょっと待ってね。じゃあちょっと一旦配信。一旦ちょっとなんか BGM 流すから、ちょっと待っててくださいね。ウィンドウ閉じて、あれ俺ゲーム用じゃない方さ。こっちさ。そうだね、まだ変更してないね。ちょっと待ってね。これちょっと変更するから。これ変更して、でここに、一回、字幕設定し直します、一回。なんでちょっと5分ぐらいお待ちください。ってことで、コメント欄出したいんだよ、俺は。待って。ちょっと待ってね。BGM。まず BGM。頑張ったな。待ってね。BGM が流れないんだが。よし。はい。ってことで、ちょっと待ってくださいね。よいしょ。よし。日にちも違うね。日にちも書き換えましょうか。 21日の今日は土曜日となっております。よいしょ。土曜日。ことでちょっと待ってくださいね。日本語かもっとくん？俺、試しにやったときできてた気がすんだからな。なんで、ここかもっと入れます。一応した。直前にね。ちょっと待ってね。字幕ファイルをダウンロードして、読みデータ入れる。ヒドラからダウンロードして、聞きました。ダウンロードしました。こちらを Steam フォルダの Steam フォルダのファイル行って、待ってね。で、Steam フォルダ行って、テストサイトの開いてないよ。で、見て、APP に行って、APP に行きました。で、コモンに入って、クラスさんに行って、ここに入って、通す。で、このやつを、これインストールして、変えたい。そうっす。どこまで行った？なんか戻ってる。なんだよ、俺。もうやだ。わかんない、パソコン。わかんない。いやさ、パソコン難しくない？俺もう、一生こんなん使える気しないんだけど、めちゃくちゃ難しくない？この機械。箱みたいなやつ。で、リソース行って、はい。ファイルを置き換える。置き換えました。はい。ということで、もう一回 S3 に開いてみましょう。情報の授業できないじゃん。情報授業は、小学校はない。小学校は情報の授業じゃなくて、あれだよ。いやー、化石人間だから仕方ないね。待って、今の、なんだ今のなんだお、そもそもなんか BGM できたんだけど、なんでこれ何これさっきなかったのに。どういうこと？じゃあ始めていきましょうか。ちょっと待ってね。画面変えるね。画面変えまーす。よいしょ。起動時のバグですかね、さっきのやつは多分。そしたら。パン。パン。BGM あるよね。よいしょ。ということでやっていきましょうか。はい、申し訳ない。開幕からグダグダしましたけど、はい。今度こそやっていきたいと思います。はじめ。いや、多分起動時バグってのかな。ローディングも早いもん、なんか。今回じゃないか、今回。
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
なんで、
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
427
Employee number 427's job.
ちょっと待ってね。何がおかしい？スピーカーがいいんだよ。これ変えたのが悪いんかな？元の状態から。これにしたんだよね。これだったんだよ、元から。クオリティマックスにして、一回ノーにしてみよう。なしにしてみよう。で、なんか出るかどうか。出
All
て
of
ない
his
の？
co-workers were gone.
で、なしの状態は当然出ない。出る。
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
字
Perhaps
幕
he had simply
息してないん
missed
だ
a
けど。
memo.
なんで？どうして？なんでもう一回閉じます。よいしょ。 はい。ただいまー。ただいまー。帰ってきちゃった。ってことで、なんだ俺。なんでなんだろうか。ちょっと待っててね。ちょっと待っててね。と、これとこれ。なるほど。あったあったあった。申し訳ない。ちょっと待ってね。あったあった。完全に理解した。今のフォルダだけだと、スタンリーの、なんだっけ。それのモッドの片方しか書いてないサイトが入っちゃっインストールしちゃったらっぽくって、2個入れないといけないものを片方しか入れてなかったっぽいね。ちょっと待っててね。もう少しでいける。もう理解したらもう簡単よ。これと、これだったんだ、もともとは、やんのは。なのに、片方しかインストールしなかった。なるほどね。ちょっと待っててね。もうちょっと待ってね。本当申し訳ない。グダグダしすぎて。よいしょ。BGM。おかえり。よいしょ。で、ファイルをどうやって開くんだったっけ？これやって、ファイル行って、Steam 入って、Steam APP 入って、コモン、管理、なんか長いやつ、リソース。よし。まずこれを変換して、そしたら次これを変換する。よし、できた。多分これでいける。ってことで、やっていきましょうか。はい。長らくお待たせいたしました。長らくお待たせいたしました。何分経ってる？ 17 分。いやー、起動確認したんだけどな。なんでだろうな。14、100、なんだっけ、120、124みたいな、114みたいな文字見えて、満足しちゃってたわ。はちゃめちゃに怖いことだけやらせて、それやめて。それは許して。よいしょ。はい、じゃあやっていきましょう。やっと始まるよ。やっと始まりました。ここ職員室、職員室うるさいね。
This is the story of a man named
出た
Stanley.
読まないよ、今回。
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee
授業
number
めっちゃ多い
427.
ね。
Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard.
企画できそう
Orders
だ
came
な。
to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him
ビジュ
what
ムでかい
buttons to
了解。一回止めんね。今回か、じゃあ。
push.
じゃあ今、
How long
これ
to
で大丈
push
夫？
them,
ダ
and
メそう。
in what order.
まだ時間あ
This
っ
is
たら教
what
えて。
employee 427 did every day, of every month, of
い
every
つも学校でこんな感じじゃん。
And although
ちげえよ、グラブルやってるよ。
considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the
いや、どん
orders
どん
gave.
読ませてください。この仕事大好きってやばいでしょ。大丈夫？大丈夫なの？幸せなんだ。本当か？
And then one day, something very peculiar
こ
happened.
う来ました。
Something that would forever
何を永遠に
change
変えてしまう
Stanley.
ような出来事です。こ
Something
れ
he
読
would
まなく
never
ていいよね。
quite
読んだ方がい
forget.
い？これ読んだ方がいい？読
He
まなく
had
ていい？
been at his desk for nearly
読
an
むとさ、
hour
ナレーションと
when
重
he
なっちゃうよね。
realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him
これじゃん、何もしないで不労所得ってやつじゃん。
or
出社するだけで金もらえるやつじゃん。
Never
Yeah.
in all his years at the
誰もいないの
company
にずっと困る
had
けど。
this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly
1時間放
wrong.
置。1時間放置。
Shocked,
マジ？
frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
隠れてないよね。
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps
そう
he
や、
had
ちょっと
simply
滑
missed
る
a
な。
memo.
これなんか落っこってるし。おー。おー。空いてる、あっち行きたい。どうしよう。指示がないんだけど。はいっか。移動性能高い。移動性能高いね。
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he
彼は
entered
左
the
のドア
door
に入
on
りま
his
した。
left.
はは。
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
や、なんか、反骨精神ってあるじゃん。え、これいい。何あれこれ。コールドリンク。いいな、こういう、いろいろあるのいいな。これ字幕全く見てないけど。これいいのこっちあっち開いてないよね、もう。
Yes, really worth it being here in the room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first
開いてる
open
ドア
door
に
on
行きま
his
した。
left.
なんか、これ戻るよね、これ。間違いなく戻るよね、道。じゃあ行かない。呼吸うるさい。
Stanley was so bad at following
言われた通りに
directions,
砂
it's
つも苦手で
incredible
し
he
た。
wasn't
あまり
5
解雇
years
されなかったの
ago.
が不思議くらいです。かわいそう。待って。バーニング。Do not jump from the カーゴ、リフト、ライト、ホワイト、ライト、It is in motion, will force です。大丈夫？あ、ちょっと待って。そもそもあれだわ。そもそもあれだったわ。名前呼んでなかった。うさぎさんいらっしゃい。からしにょこさんいらっしゃい。これは下着でいらっしゃい。え、これいけんの？これいけると思う？なんだろう。
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
はい。なんもなかった。なんもなかったよ。なんもなかった。なんもなかった。
All of his coworkers were gone. What could it mean?
え、今のエンディン
Stanley
グ今の
decided to go to the meeting room.
そういう願望が
Perhaps
終わり
he
で
had
ない。
simply missed the memo.
指示が一切意味が入んないのは仕方ない。許してね。あれさ、あれあ、エンディングなのあれ。今のエンディングなの。やった、1個回収した。まあ、右行くんだ。あ、合ってる合ってる。右行くんだけどね。指示には従わねえ。俺は俺の道を行く。こうに見た。しかし仕事に戻りたくてスタンリーは左側の室内の空いてるドアで行きました。行かねえよ。なんか開いてる。ジャンプしたい。見えない。ジャンプしたい。見えない。え、エンディングなんだ今の。これじゃどこ行けばいいの？こっち？カードないけど。これ下行けんな。これ下どうやって行くんだろう。あれ絶対帰れるよね。これ絶対逃げられるよね。だってあそこだけ空いてるもん。間違いなくあれ行けるよね。上行ってんだけど。俺が行きたいのしたんだ。ここじゃね
？I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
ごめんって。ごめんって、ほんと。ナレーションさん。
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
や、どうしよう。お、シラさんいらっしゃい。こっちね。
Perhaps you misunderstood.
Stanley walked through the
red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door. All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road? You've chosen well. Don't let me stop you.
待って、ホラーゲーム見てて怖いんだけど。怖いんだけど。何これ？
You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? You don't think I put a lot of time into that, because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing, because this is what you wanted to see.
深いな。
Help
欲
me
求
here,
の解明を
Stanley. Help
この
elucidate
ゲーム
these
良かったのでしょ
strange
うか。
and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles?
車
Skill trees?
俺車
Work
見たかっ
with
たの。
me, you've given me absolutely nothing so far.
車見たかったんだけど、苦行の始まり？
Take a
え、何そ
stab
れ？
in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option.
なんてことだ、第
This
3
already
節。やっ
feels
たー。
leaps ahead of where we
やっ
were
ちゃ
before. Go ahead, Stanley. Okay, I'm
ー。
going to
ああ、
stop
俺
you
これ知ってる
there.
かもしん
Now,
ねえ。
tell me about
あ
your
あ、これ
experience
聞い
with
たこ
this
とあるかもしん
new
ない
version. Would
え、
you
4時
say
間も
that
続
the
けるや
game
つないこれ。
benefited
大丈
from
夫？
allowing
え、
you
合っ
more
てる？
choices?
え、
Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
待って。え、これ、え、一応押すけど。
A one? I mean, I can understand if you had
あ、なるほど。
reservations.
点
You
数
saw
つける
ways
っ
the
て話
game
ね。
could be
1点、1
improved
点、1
to
点。
more
1点、1
fully
点、1点。
express itself
これは1
mechanically
点、1
and
点。これ1点、1点、1
artistically.
点、1
But
点、1 点。
a one? That's not even helpful. What am I supposed
ご
to
めん。
do with
ごめん。
that?
もう一回押すって。押すって。しっかり
I
押す
guess
っ
it
て。
isn't my place to
しっかり押すっ
judge.
て。お、ロラさんいらっしゃいま
Here,
せ。ログイン。
based on the
あ、
data
オ
from
リジ
your
ンできた？
previous
あの、
playthrough,
あ、
I've
やった
compiled a
ぜ。
new version.
おめでとうございます。
To
よ
be
い
perfectly
しょ。
candid, I think I've knocked it
バー
out
ジョン
of
コン
the
パイルし
park
まし
with
た。
this one. Let's
この以
take a
上の成
look.
果が出た。見てみましょう。はは。当然ここ行くよね。
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to
いや
keep working
ー、
through doors?
下品だったからね。それ
Honest
点数
answers,
上
please.
がるわな。
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting.
任
You
せ
wouldn't
ろ。
mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot
任
it
せろ。
up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right,
Yeah,
and
don't
if he
click
reaches the
down,
fire,
don't
you
click
fail. It's a very
Yes.
meaningful game, all
わかりま
about
した。
the desperation and tedium
押せ
of
ばいいのね。
endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice.
そうそう、
But
今
of
表
course,
しています。
the message of the
も
game
ちろんこのゲ
only
ームのメッ
becomes
セージ
clear
は
once you've been playing it for about
これ
10
だ
years. So why don't you give it 4
こ
hours
れ
of
だ
play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
じゃあな。赤ちゃんじゃあな。俺これやりたくないんだわ。じゃあな。バイバイ。
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to
や
spite
だ、
me?
これをやりたくない。
Because if it's the
やりたく
latter,
な
I
い。
don't know what to do. I'm completely
やだ。
out of ideas.
やだ。
I can't think of
やだ。
a single
や
thing
だ。
that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going
いや、
to try.
4時間でしょ、これ。
I'm out.
でしょ
I'm done.
無理無理無理無理
It's
無理。
over. Thank you for playing. Your input was
Thank you for
extremely
playing.
valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game, just to ease the pain? Let's see. What do we have here?
シクレットスみたいなちょっとやってみましょう。
Yes.
え？
This seems like it'll work.
時間つらいの？
Let's give it a shot.
え？騙された俺もしかして。バイクラじゃねえかよ。
Well, Stanley, is this any better? At last, the one thing you've always desired. A game I had
ジャンプどこ？
absolutely
ジャンプどこ？ジャンプどこ？
nothing
ジャン
to
プ、ジャン
do
プボタン
with.
どこ？
But is it enough?
バイクラじゃん。
Stanley, will it
4時間だと思う
ever
じゃん。4
be?
時間なんで。4時間じゃねえか
I'll
よ。
say this.
やってっ
I'm
てロ
done
グイン。
making things
ログインだけ
for
で10分はきつい
From
な。
now on,
え、
I'll
マイン
only
クラフトじ
create
ゃ
to
ん。
fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house.
これは好きなのかな。
This will do. Here. No. Here. And then. Let's see. What does it need? Yes, of course. And
ちょっ
just
と
to
違う
finish
ゲーム
it
しないで。
all
俺
off,
も聞きたいわ。
yes,
あ、見られた。
it's complete.
コンプリート。俺が最初に作った意味だよな、こ
Look
れ
at。it.
俺最初
Gaze
にこ
upon
の
my
家
work
作っ
of
ちゃいました
art
ね。
and
確かに。
feel ashamed
でこれ
at
が
your
スタンディなんです
own
よ。アロさんいらっしゃ
inadequacy.
い。
But you've only seen it from the outside.
Sure.
You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside
Sorry,
and make
任
yourself
せろ。
comfortable.
入れないじゃねえかよ。
Isn't it grand? Isn't
入
it
れたわ。
perfect? It could only be better if...
ダイヤモンドにすぐ行く
That's
よ。
it. We must
はい、すぐ行かなく
rebuild
て
it
は。行きましょう
out
か。
of diamond. Diamond everything. Yes, yes, yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
どこどこどこ？こっち？あった。
Oh my, it looks like it's going to get a bit
ガンマ
dark.
低いな。
You brought a light?
あと視野角がちょっとおかしいな。
Oh, no, 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 no. This is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5.
ダイヤモンドだってのどうしようもないな。ニ
Diamonds
ュー
couldn't
ゲ
see
ー
this
ム。
one.
よし、ということで、これ
Okay,
は、
new game.
これは、エンディングもう一個回収できた？もしかしてこれ。これ何エンド？マイクラエンドとかそんな感じ？終わってないじゃん。
Yes, I don't even know
何
what
こ
this
れ？
game is, but I love it. You
何これ？
trapped in a glass box with no way out, listening to me talk. Oh,
何これ？
it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this game even supposed to be?
何個かエンディングあるらしいです。何これ？このレイクスゼロ。何これ？
Let's go find out what the hell this
近代的なんだけ
is.
ど。何のゲームこれ？あ、あってな。めっちゃあったな。よいしょ。
Oh, it's a puzzle. Critical thinking, Stanley. Your forte.
どすこーい。よいしょ。どすこーい。よしよしよし。あ、ポータルか。ポータルってこんなゲームなんですね。あ、パズルゲームなんだ。ポータルって。そんないけど。あ、ホテルだね。
Genius.
ジーニアス。
No, actually, you know what? I think that's plenty. I really don't care much to see you stumble through any more of these games.
ただいま。いやー、落ちるー。え、怖いんだけど。怖いんだけど。ホラーゲームこれ。怖いんだけど。あ、怖いんだけど。怖い怖い怖い怖い怖い怖い怖い。ホラー無理ホラー無理ホラー無理ホラー無理ホラー無理ホラー無理。なんで俺これエンディング選んじゃったの？帰りたい。無理無理無理無理無理無理。画面見えない画面見えない。これ配信的に厳しい。配信的に画面が見えないからちょっと無理。で、マジで嘘でしょ？あ、光がある光がある。待って、光があるところって絶対来るからちょっと待って、下向いてるわ。よいしょ。なかったわ。待って。どこ行けばいいのこれ。あ、これどこ行けばいいの？これどこ行けばいいの？これもし、ちょっと待って、一個だけ聞きたい。これ終わる？これエンディングある？終わるこれ。投げっぱなしエンドとかないよね。平気？もうすぐエンド？どっちどっち？音。
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice. And if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion.
いや、ナレーション見えると怖えわ、このゲー
That
ム。
is what I mean to this world.
ナレーション見えると怖えわ。
Yes,
Yes,
I'll be back. There's no other way.
画面が。待って、ちょっとしまってね。画面が麻痺しちゃった。
Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here
終わ
soon.
りは来るでしょ、もうすぐ。
Very soon. I can wait.
私は待てません。終わっちゃった。終わったー。これ何エンド？これ何エンド？終わった。わかんないけど、2個目回収できましたね。ちょっと怖かった。怖かった。 サンディホラーゲームじ
I
ゃん。
can't
無
wait
理。
to tell this story to my coworkers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing?
ゲームエンド。わかんない。もう、わかんない。いろんな、あれがあった。ポータルとマインクラフトあった。もっと怖くてもいいんですけど、無理。いや、まだね、多分右あると思うんだわ。あれ、赤いドア行ったらさ、もしかしたらさ、赤いドア行けばさ、帰れるんじゃね車で。俺帰りてんだわ、早く。家に帰りたいんですよ、私。職場でも、カバネさんはすぐに家に帰るって言われるくらい早いんで、帰宅が。さあ、ボンネットの上行けると思う。ボンネットの上行けると思う。任せろ。よいしょ。今。
I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you?
すげえな、このゲーム面白い。
I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove that I'm on your side.
いや、ここだけはお前に従うよ。
Now listen carefully, this is important.
従うよ。
Stanley walked
従う。
through the red door.
従う。任せろ。
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
どっちから来たっけ？こっちから来て、人間は困った時左を選ぶみたいな話。
What do we want? What are we looking for?
Looking for?
Here.
はあ、何これ？綺麗だけど。綺麗だけど。ここ感じ。目が痛い。帰る。
No, wait. Where are you going? Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this. Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
これは Yes!
No! Oh, thank God you lived. No. What are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
もう一回落ちて知らんかったら、こっち行こうか。じゃあ、あった。じゃあ戻るわ。じゃあ戻る。ちょっとナレーションが嬉しそうだからやだ。ナレーション嬉しそうじゃん。まあいいか、ナレーション通りに行こう。これだけ信じよう。これだけは信じましょう。
You'll see that we can't be happy if we leave this place. You can see that, can't you?
綺麗だ。ほらかこれ本当に。これ何これ。交代機めっちゃ耐久あったよね。2回あの高さから送って生きてんだよこの人。人間じゃないしむしろ。1回あれで死んじゃったのに。距離がなくなった。来た。虚無だよね。 ギャグゲーでこれか。DDLC にいた面白さ。DDLC やったことないけど、なんかこんな感じなんだ。落っこちたのが楽しいな。上から降りる方が楽しいんだけど、いい？
No, perhaps not.
いや、そうでもない。どういうこと？そうでもないって話。どっかドアある？これもしかして。
Is this really how much you dislike my game?
テロスのためのなんだろうなんだろう、このゲームから見投げすることか。
platform over and over to be rid of it.
ああ、どうでも
You're
ないんだ。
literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
もう少し内緒に聞こうか。終わったし。
Maybe you're just getting a kick out of it.
交代級だな。
I don't know anymore.
いや、
I just wanted us to get along.
泣きに入ってるじゃん。なんか同情襲って、なんかやってるじゃん、この人も。
Well, this one is yours.
じゃあの。
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
ってことは右側はもうあれだったんじゃないんか。
All of his co-workers were gone.
車に行くルートじゃなかったんだ。
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a
もう
memo.
もらわなかったかもしれません。
When Stanley came to a
どうす
set
る？
of two open
まだ
doors,
右あるか
he
な？
entered
虚
the
無エンド。
door
あれ虚無なん
and
だ。あるかな？まだ。
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first,
彼は最初に
just to admire
読んだ
it.
わ。
Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open
迷
door
いがない
on his
よ。
left.
迷いないよ。何も。
Stanley was so bad at following
これさ、
directions, it's incredible he
ア
wasn't
ンサー
5
2ってさ、
years
キーボー
ago.
ドまで聞こえんだよ。あっちあるじゃん。
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your
なんか
enemy,
キーボード
really
タッチする
I'm
感じなん
not.
ない？
I
彼ちゃん
realize
救
that
済ルートまだです
investing
けど、や
your
だ。
trust in someone else
絶
can be
対や
difficult,
だ。
but the fact is
無理
that
無
the
理無理無理
story
無理。
has been about nothing but you.
2時間とかだったらまだワンチャン考えたけど、
There's someone you've been
4時間は
neglecting,
無理。
Stanley.
4時間は
Someone
申し訳
you
ないけど
forgot
無理。
about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
せっかちです。
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside,
仕事は脇に置いて。
to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
お、びっくりした。
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in
い
another,
やー、怪しい。
then pick up the phone.
出るわ。
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry
でもオー
to
ブン
keep
から
you
パンを
waiting.
出してたから
I'm
の。
just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right.
来ないで。
Okay, there we go.
来ないで。
All right, now, I
来ない
want
で。
you to come in and tell me all
あ、
about
俺が
it.
来るね。うわー
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife? Who wanted to make their life to you? I'm
もう
trying
や
to
め
make a
た
point
い
here, Stanley.
も
I'm
うや
trying to
め
get you
た
to
い
see something.
このゲ
Come
ームや
inside.
めた
Let me
い
show you what's really going on
無
here.
理もうやだもうやだもうやだもうやだ怖いってお前
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
ベッドマーニングこれダメこれで無理でも今泣いてるもん俺泣いてるもん全部ポン
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his
狭ない
existence.
いや
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home.
これ
Now
俺要
he's
素
coming
スタン
back
ディ
to
のお仕
work.
事
One might even feel sorry for him. except that he's chosen this life.
ね、手だ。
But in his
直すけど。
in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his
ホラーね、
desk,
本当に苦手なんですよね。
Stanley dreamed of
無理無理無理。今ではあったでしょ、俺がホラーどんだけダメか。
fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
手をしび。
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that
なんか
one
暗くな
day
い？
while at work,
Yeah.
he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
あっちね。
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
全くわからん。で、
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he
Well,
began to fill
Giorgio.
it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls.
無数のモニター
Down
とマイ
another
ンド
was a
の
yellow line
コントロール
weaved
装
in
置。
many directions, and down another was a game with a baby.
赤ん坊
And
が
he called it
来
the
ると、もうそれ
Stanley
見たわ。
Parable.
は
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be?
小原さんの彼女、
Perhaps if
マネ
he
キンみたい
played
ですね。
just one more
マネキンなん
time.
だよ。球体カーストなんだよ、多分。球体じゃなかった、全然。
But there is no
お、
answer.
これも。
How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed.
それがいい
The
わ。
longer he
いや
spends
暗い暗い
here,
暗い
the
暗い暗い
more。invested he gets, the more he forgets which
あっ
life
ち
is
見たく
the
ない。
real
無理、
one.
怖い。無理無理無理。ST。
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world
彼
he
は第
can
三者し
never
かな
be
らないとこにいる
anything
限
but
りゆっ
an
くり
observer, that as long as he remains here,
彼は
he's
興味を全
slowly
く持ちませ
killing
ん。彼はやめ
himself.
ないんです。
But he won't listen to me. He won't
Listen to
stop.
me.
Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a
任せ
button,
ろ。
do not do it. You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Oh. Cute.
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want
持
him
ってるよ
to.
うには座らないだろ
But I don't make
なんかあ
the
る。
rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him.
なければ。
I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps.
I
Well,
must.
maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again. And Stanley
This
pushed a
time.
button.
任せろ。
And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I
大ってさ、クラッシュボタンだよね、大体。9だよね。え、こんなだったっけ？
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
こんなだったっけ？
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his
Yup.
left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to
俺の部屋
admire
は
it.
さ、あんな汚くないよ。え、あんなだったっけ？
Stanley felt lightheaded, butterflies in his stomach. Giddy but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door
めまいを
on
感
his
じてる。
left.
なんか体調悪いんだね。
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't
あれ？
fired years ago. Look,
なんか、
Stanley, I
こ
think
こまで
perhaps
ノル
we've
マみたいな
gotten
感じが
off
す
on
る
the。wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing in your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten?
何でもかんでも一人で決めようと決めないでください。
Stop trying to make every decision
任せろ。
by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me. I'm asking for her.
なんかまだ右ルートありそうだよね。
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem
この多分
yourself.
出たらあれになっちゃうから
Put your work aside
出ないでいこう
to
か
let
今度は。
her back into your life. She's been
出ないで
waiting.
す。
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do
彼女
this.
ですよ。
To
彼女
reach
に
out
手
to
をする
her.
こう
If you can truly place your faith
だっ
in
てさっき彼女い
another,
ないって言われたもん。
then pick up the phone.
お前に彼女いねえよって言われたもん。
As Stanley picked up the phone, a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a
今
life
刺したわ。
united one.
こういうことね。
Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone? No, that wasn't supposed to be a
Hello?
choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible.
いや、ある
Let
じゃ
me
ん。
double check.
で、電源あったから。
No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the
電話
phone.
を取ると、
He's taken to
ア
an
パートに
apartment
つな
where
が
he
る。
finds his wife,
電
and
源
the
切ったよ。
two
電話線
pledge
切ったわよ。
themselves to one another.
許するときは電話線を切るのよ。
Roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action.
なんですか。
How is that even
それを見なきゃ
possible?
なかったはずだ。
None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on
Okay,
earth are you
give us a-
making meaningful
どうやって意味
choices?
があるんですか。
What did you...
あ
Wait a second.
わからん
Did I just see... No, that's not
これさ、
possible.
エンディン
I
グ
can't
回収
believe
早すぎ
it.
ない？
How had I not
なん
noticed
か
it
回数
sooner?
個数。
You're not Stanley.
1時間くらいで終わらせるかじゃ
You're
あ。
a real person.
そっちの方が見やすいでしょ多分。見直す
I can't
見直
believe
すし
I
とい
was
たら。
so mistaken. This is why you've been able to
これ
make
終わって
correct
もう
and
一個のルート終わ
incorrect
ったら終わらせ
choices.
よっか一
And to
回。
think I've been letting you run around in this game for so
てか
long.
一旦終わら
If
せよう
you'd
か今
made any more
日。まだ
wrong
何回かこ
choices,
れや
you
りたい
might
んだよ
have
ね。
negated it entirely. It's as though you
このゲー
completely
ム面白いから。
ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real
赤ちゃん
world
救済ルー
decision
トは
making.
な
Or
い。
did you not grasp
マジで
the
ない。
severity
あれ
of
は
the
ない。
situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you
ではこの
properly
教
on
育ビデオ
safe
は
decision making
はい
in the real
教
world.
育ビデオに入っちゃっ
Please
た。
observe this helpful instructional video.
はーい。
Choice.
チョイス。
It's the best part of
It's the
being a
best なん
real
とかなんとかなんと
person.
か。
But if used incorrectly, can also be the most
アヒルちゃんもや
dangerous.
んない。
For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Stephen has a
できない。
choice. He could spend years helping improve the quality of
で
life
きない
for
の。
citizens of impoverished third world nations.
俺英語
Or
英
he
語
could
耳
systematically
そろっ
set
となんか
fire
何言
to
ってるかわ
every
かんないよ。
orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his house. Which choice would you make? Remember
you make?
that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you
Sense.
make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the
Incorrect.
person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be
誰か
having a
誰か
back
同時字
sack
幕
and crack."
同時字幕を誰か。プラクティス。
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the
なるほどね。
best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most
ボタン
medical
を押せたらしちゃったん
professionals
だ。
recommend making at least 8 choices per day.
8回以上
Do
選
you
択
make
してます
more
か？
than
でもそれいい
8?
か？
Less?
俺選択してねえか
And
もな、8
finally,
回以上は
if。you begin to wonder if your choices are actually
あ、してる
meaningful
わ。
and
飯
whether
どう
you'll
するかとか
ever
いろい
make
ろ考
a
えてるわ。
significant contribution to the world,
多分
just
最近
remember that
見
in
な
the
さい。
vast infiniteness of space,
あ、
your
これ問題
thoughts and
パスある
problems
け
are
どさ、
materially
こういうな授
insignificant,
業系の
and
ビデオ
the
って見ない
feeling
よ
should
ね。
subside.
授業
At
系の
this
ビデオしっかり
time,
見てた人
your
いる？
instructor will guide you in an exercise to
これ見て
test
ない。
and reinforce the
これ見てなか
material
った。
covered
てか
in
む
this
し
video.
ろ流してるの見てないわ。
Ah, welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction.
悪化し
But
始め
not
てること
to
に気がつい
worry.
てるのでは？
Now that you're
これ
properly
はありません。
informed
気が
on
ついて
good
な進ん
decision
でる方
making,
法についてなん
we're
かバ
going
グっ
to
てんな。
revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
これなんか見た気がする。お？お？
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we
Oh.
can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying
ユニバーサルデザインじゃんこれ多分。
halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible
ユニバー
before
サル
the
デザイン
narrative
なんだデザイン
contradiction
ってこれ
gets
こういう
any
こと言うんだっ
worse.
け？合ってる？
Unfortunately,
合って
it
る？
seems this
間
place
違ってる？
is not well equipped to
なんか
deal
ユニバー
with
サルデザインっ
reality.
てさ、なんだっけ？誰でも使 使えるみたいなあれだよね、確か。脳死で進んでるけど、あっちゃった。ケース。
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending. The story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
くつろげるんだったら選ぶわ。
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would.
くつろげるんだったらね。
Responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
くつろげるんだったら、ちょっと考える。
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
上の階にあるどうしのオフィス。めっちゃ豪華じゃん。これオフィスってマジ？
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not a case of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code. Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
Night Shark 115.
I'm sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise we can't get on with the story.
Night Shark 115.
Okay, fine, you're not gonna do it, but you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide there are better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward.
What the?
Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
右しか開いてない。ああ、開いた。こっち来て。
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of
オフィスから上司のオフィス。あれ終わった。
Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means
なるほど。もう左に行けたんですね。あ、右に行けたんですね。
I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
しっかり俺は言うこと聞くぞ。任せろ。
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and
Vanilla,
always putting the
Nico ka.
story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Yes.
No! Why did you do
No!
that? Quickly.
いや、さっき行けって言ってたじゃん。え、だって、バグってる？バグったんじゃん。さっき、右、左行ったらさ、さっき、
I can't believe after everything we talked about that my story, you destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work?
めっちゃ早口じゃん。もっと落ち着けよ。
What do I do? No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to.
うわー、画面が揺れる。ラゲーム？このゲーム。きょーん。怖い！怖い！
Oh, I'm here. I'm still here in this pile of rubbish. With you, who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see?
ゾンビ来る。これゾンビ来る。ゾンビ来るやつ。ゾンビゲー動く端っこに隠れる。
understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen that there was a
お前ネタバレしてんじゃん。
facility.
ネタバレしてんじゃん。
You would have destroyed it
左の前
and
ってくれて
been
見れた
victorious.
のに、
It
あ
would
れ
have
巨
been
大な
so
システムしかやったん
perfect.
だ。
I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard.
ごめん。
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
アンディ？
Stanley? Hello?
Hello?
Are you... Is everything okay?
Hello?
Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door.
無理やり終わらせたの今。
Are you listening to
うざ。ジエンドって。
me? Is everything all right? Stanley, this is important.
エンディングは初めて見えたよ。
The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please. Choose. Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The
こ
story
れだもん
needs
じゃ
it.
右は終わりかな。
So,
大体。
you hear me? Are you there? You listening to this? Stanley, are you there?
上にいるよ。
Okay. It's okay, I can wait.
上にいるよ。
Time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's all right. I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.
怖いんだけど。あ、プレイヤーが追い出されたからスタンディ操作できないエンド。なるほどね。どこ
All
こ
of his
こ？
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Go,
Perhaps
go,
he
go.
had simply missed a memo.
どこここ？
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
そろそろ確認しちゃうけど。分かった、右で？左だったら左ね。
Yet there was not a single person here
どこはこ
either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an
う？
answer
下があ
there.
る。行ってこよ
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it.
う。これないか
He。considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his
首を
post
警戒して
during
たんです
work
ね。
hours.
こぼれてるし
He。might be fired for
人
that.
間じゃ消えた
And
ん
in
だな、
such
多
a
分。
competitive
いたけど。
economy, why had he taken that risk?
無限ループって怖く
All
ね？
because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was
無限ループって
crazy.
怖くね？
And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of
無限ループって
existence
怖く
in
ね？
a single moment for
A,
no
B,
reason
G,
at
C,
all. None of it made any
ちょっと覚えていたけ
logical
ど。
sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For
無限ループって怖くない？
why couldn't he see his feet
お、
when he
足がない。
got down?
なんで
Why
ど
did
背
doors
後に
close
勝手に閉まんの？
automatically behind him wherever he went? And for
ホラ
that
ーゲームじ
matter,
ゃん。
these rooms were
騙
starting
す
to
な。
look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming!
ドリーミ
He
ング。
yelled.
なるほどね。
This
そ
is
れだったらいい
all a
や。
dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an
時間全
answer,
然違うじゃ
an
ん。
explanation. His co-workers weren't actually
12B4。12B4 で 12B4。
He
何かわかんないけど覚えた。
after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon.
ホラーゲーム無理なんだって、ほんと。
Back to my
12B4 ね。
boring life job pushing buttons. I may as well
12B4
enjoy this while I'm
12B4 ね。
still lucid. So,
なん
he
かあったら
imagined
そうするわ。
himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a
本当に今一瞬
magical
浮いた。
starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all
何かわかんない。
entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he
これも聞き
hadn't
たい。
asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in
びっくりした。
my
なん
head
かホラーゲームみたい
dictating
な。
everything that I'm doing and thinking?
ホラーゲーム。
Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts.
無限ループって怖くない？なんか俺 M
And
低
while
い
he
な。
thought it all very odd,
ヘッ
and
ドライン合
wondered
わせ
if
てい
this
かんわ。
voice
し
spoke
っか
to
り。
all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life.
ギャグゲー、ギャグゲーこれなの
Hearing
マ
the
ジで
voice speak these
嘘で
words
しょ
was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream.
なんかどっかあるんじゃ
Did
ね
the
なん
voice
か。
not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if
な
he
ん
could
か
just...
興奮してきてるんだけど。あれ
He
が
would、
ナレ
prove
ーションが。
He would prove that he was in control, that this
Control.
was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently,
目覚めを
and he
しました。
invited himself to wake
目
up.
覚め。
He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my
なるほ
job.
ど。
Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please,
俺の調子がおかしい
it's
な。
all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife,
今
and my
いねえんだ
dog.
よ。お前の妄想なん
All
だ
I
よ、妻は
want。is my life exactly the way it's always been.
さっき見たよ、俺いなかったの。
My life is normal.
マネキンだったよ。怖かっ
I
たよ、
am
ちょっと。
normal. Everything will be fine.
ちょっとだけ怖かったよ、マネキン。
I am okay.
I am okay。ただいま。あれ
Stanley
What's that?
began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a
BGM
boss. I
怖い
have
んだけ
an
ど。
office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I
終わってきた。
must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my
こっち
voice?
線に戻ってる。こっち。
Who am I? And everything went black.
すべては暗闇の中に消えていきました。ホラーゲームじゃん。
This is the story of a woman named
これはマ
Mariella.
リエラという女性の物語。誰？
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to I am sane.
自分より下の人を見てあれじゃん。安心してんじゃん。
real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better.
ミーティングの予定を思い出し
Then
まし
she
た。
remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the
あ、
body,
死んでんの俺。
and then she turned and ran.
どういうこと？分かんなかった。ということで、もうどうします？もう一個ぐらいエンディングに行きましょうか。時間がいい感じになってきたんですよ。1回の尺でちょうどいいぐらいの、1回見るにはちょうどいい時間になったんですよね。配信時間が。怖いエンドをことごとく選んで偉いね。全部怖いエンドなの見てんの俺。今なんかいた？気のせいだよね。いやー、ということで、今回はこのぐらいで、ちょっと一気にやっちゃうのもったいないなと思って、このぐらいで今日は終わらせといて、どうしようかな、夜配信しようかな。まあ、しなくていいか。ということで、じゃあ今日の配信はこのぐらいで、サンディはこのぐらいで終わらさせていただきます。ということで、2は指示通りのエンディング見てないです。指示通り、今日のエンディングは、極力指示に従わないでいくエンディングばっか見てましたね。だから右側のエンディングはもうなくなっちゃった感じするんで、多分。ちなみに言うとさ、右のエンディングってまだある？ちなみに右のエンディングってまだあるかわかる？まだある？あれ。もうない？右は。ないかな？なったらいいんだけど。右まだあるんだ。そしたらちょっと右側ちょっと次考えるのと、左側のエンディングをどんどんやっていこうかな、次は、多分。ということで、申し訳ない。3時間ぐらい時間を取ったんだけど、3時間あったらゲームが終わってしまうんで、そしたら、4時間のあれ以外ね。赤ちゃん以外で2個残ってるかしらね。あるんだ。とりあえずじゃあ、今度またやるときは、エンディングを回収しに行きましょうか。今日のエンディングはね、なんか、怖いのばっかだったね。いや、無理。ホラーゲームじゃん。ここまで来たらもう、赤ちゃんはやんない。ということで、はい。じゃあ今日のスタンディはこの辺で終わらせていただきます。で、次回配信の話なんですけど、ちょっと日曜日ができないんで、日曜日と来週の日曜日できない？日曜日わかんないわ。明日はわかんない。で、明日の、来週の木曜、金曜日は多分できないんですよ、間違いなく。なんで、来週木曜、金曜はなしとして、それ以外の来週どっかまた告知して配信をしようと思います。ギャグじゃないよ。ホラーゲームだよ、こんなん。ってことで、はい、今日のスタンディング配信はこの辺で終了させていただきます。1時間だね、しっかりね。1時間しっかりできましたね。疲れた。ホラーゲームじゃないのにさ、そんなビビるじゃん、俺。俺がどんだけホラーゲームできないか分かりましたよね、多分、今ので。ということで、ホラーゲームを俺にお勧めしないでね、お願いね。本当にお願いね。俺マジで無理だから。ということで、はい、今日の配信はこの辺で終了させていただきますが、お疲れ様でした。お疲れさんでした。いいの？おつがばでいいの？おつがばは流行らせんね。おつがばはダメだよ。ということで、じゃあお疲れ様でした。今日の配信はこの辺で終了させて ていただきます。はい、チャイム鳴るよ。チャイム鳴るまでは待っててね。よいしょ。